Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we are going to be doing a deep dive into the psychology of Margaery Tyrell and how she uses her beauty, her charm, her wits to gain favor with the king or whoever she is up against, the enemies that she is fighting at the current time, how she is able to manipulate and gain favor with people. Okay. And at the same time, we are also going to be looking at the phenomena that is taking over the internet, looksmaxxing, in particular, a guy called Clavicular, and how they are, in essence, just very, very nihilistic. They are using the re resurgence of the philosophy of nihilism, how they are using it to perpetrate their agenda, how they are advancing their thing that they are trying to plug here in this society, in this world. Let's dive straight in. Let's see what we are playing with, what we have here. Let's start off with Margaery Tyrell.
Squeeze your finger here and watch something die over there. One sentence, delivered by a teenage girl to a sadistic king. And in that moment, Margaery Tyrell didn't just hold a crossbow. She held Joffrey Baratheon's entire psychology in her hands. Today,
She knows that the king is the most powerful position in Game of Thrones, in Westeros, and she has decided to charm him because she is supposed to marry him. But she knows that, just being married to the king isn't guaranteeing you anything, any safety, any position, any power within the court, within the kingdom. So therefore, she must win his favor. She must please him, charm him in order to be seen as a point of interest. Okay, because somebody like Joffrey, a psychopath like him, is most likely easily bored. And when he gets bored, he may get rid of you. He may kill you. You never know. Okay, and that is the fascination with Game of Thrones. Okay, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. Love the TV show. And then after the shambles of the final seasons of Game of Thrones, I decided to go into the books. And I mean, the books are just so much better, so much more interesting, so much richer. There are so many characters in the books, which don't even make an appearance in the TV show, like was it Lady Coldheart or Lady Coldstone? Um, characters like that, narratives like that. The whole fake Aegon in Essos, that whole storyline also never made it into the TV show. Um, yeah, it's a great TV show. It's a great way of showcasing how to win power, how to maneuver yourself into a position of power, how to use your natural advantages that you may need to win over in order to gain control and power, which is why we are interested in it here at Royal Instinct. We are here to take over the game. We're here to take over the world. We are here to establish new kingdoms, establish new systems, because we see where the current world is headed. The current world is in a state of disarray. You're even seeing it now that in places like the Middle East at the moment, you may have heard that there is a major war, a major crisis right there, a power struggle with the United States and Israel on one side and Iran on the other. They are trying to take control of Iran to reposition, overthrow the government, to position a new government which is favorable to the West, because right now Iran is isolated from the Western countries. It still trades with China and Russia, has that type of alliances forming, and countries like the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, all these oil rich countries are affected by it. Okay, many people are there who are stranded right now. Dubai was supposed to be the safest place to live in the world, and right now its reputation is taking a major hit, a major crisis. We shall see how people will retaliate, how people will be affected in the days and weeks to come. However, what you have to realize is, the decision makers at the top, those are the people, the elites, the governments, who decided to start this by bombing Iran. um those people, are making decisions where, and it affects me and you. It affects people here on earth, boots on the ground, the everyday people, and you get no say in it, right? You might be watching on the news, you might be horrified, but you have actual no influence or say in it, right? And I was somebody like yourself. I thought, like, that is just how the world works. Okay, I'm somebody who climbed the corporate ladder, worked his ass off, and then when I got to the top, in my corporate job, I was just like, I'm not getting any respect, I'm not getting real influence, I'm not going to be able to, gain real power here. Okay, which is why I realized that, that the game is rigged for the normal people like myself and you yourself watching right now. Which is why I have decided to leave the system. I'm leaving the system. I am establishing my own system, right? And in my own system, I am creating a kingdom for me to live in, um, for the people who want to be subjects within my court, for them to come. And I don't want to be the only king, right? It is probably a very boring, lonely place to be the only king, which is why I have decided to cultivate a network of kings, right? I am looking for 100 people, 100 kings who want to become kings, who want to take that leap of faith to establish a kingdom, to be seen as a point of authority, to be seen as somebody who is, who can wield power over their own life, over their own destiny. And if you can do that, you will naturally influence, wield power over other people, right? This is the point in your life where you may decide that, you've had enough as well, that you're somebody who is, disheartened by the current system, the current elites, and how the world is currently run. You may see the evil in the world, and you may feel like there is nothing that you can do about it. What I'm telling you is, if you do feel like that, that there is something that you can do. And here at Raw Instinct, we are coming together to form alliances, to form new ways of living, to establish new kingdoms, so that we are safe. So when, Iran and the US and all these other countries go to war, that we are out of harm's way, that we are safe in our own private islands, in our own, places, our own new nations that we are establishing, which is the whole point of what I am doing here. Okay, I'm not looking to grow a million follower subscriber channel on YouTube. I'm here sending out a message. I'm sending out a bat signal to you, in the hopes that the right people within the 10 billion people across the globe will understand and heed the call that I am sending out, and that they will, message me, contact me, and, help and join me in the fight that I'm prepared to fight for, in the wars to come, where we will stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder. When shit hits the fan, that at least, there are a group of people that you can fully trust, the amicis that I'm gathering here, a group of people who truly want you to win, to succeed, and they will have your back, and they will, stand by you when the problems of the world, become too much. And in that case, me and you and the fellow kings that we are raising here at Raw Instinct are safe. Okay, if that makes sense to you, if you understand what I'm doing, if you always wanted to, if you always felt like you could do more with your life, that there was something else that you were supposed to do, this is your moment. This is the moment that you decide to get up off your ass, and take the hero's journey. Take the call. Okay, go towards success. Don't be an NPC sitting back, letting somebody else take the reins. It should be you, the decision maker, because, only you understand how good of a person you are. Okay, and you don't know the evil intentions of other people. You don't know what they have planned for us. And when you know what they have, or when you can see that what they are planning is, pretty evil, you just go look at the World Economic Forum and see what they are doing currently, what they have planned for us with their Agenda 2030. Once you see what is happening, it should disgust you, but don't despair, right? You need to have the balls to go forward and, bring about change, because if it's not you, then who will it be? Okay, you cannot trust anybody else, because they might pull a Jeffrey Epstein, pretend that they're such a good person, and in the back they are, diddling little kids, trafficking women, doing all sorts of evil shit. Okay, therefore it has to be us who is in charge. We will be victorious. We will be living a life of glory, a life of adventure, a life of luxury. If you want to be a part of it, then let me know. Let's jump back in with Margaery Tyrell.
Today, we're breaking down every single line of this scene, and I'm going to show you exactly how she went from interrogated suspect to the one in complete control. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever wondered what manipulation looks like when it's performed by a master, this is it. We're going line by line through Margaery and Joffrey's crossbow scene, analyzing the power dynamics, the psychological reads, and the surgical precision of Margaery's strategy. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this scene is one of the most underrated psychological chess matches in Game of Thrones. Let's break it down.
You wanted to see me, Your Grace.
Margaery is summoned.
Look at the way she addresses him. She calls him her grace. Okay, and that is the correct way that your followers should be addressing you. That is how they should be treating you. That is how the women in your life should be treating you. Okay, women should be looking up to you because you are the point of authority. You are the person who is in charge, and women should come to you saying like, "Oh, you summoned me, Your Grace." Okay, they should be bowing down to you. Right? Do not allow these people to walk over you, women to walk over you. Right? You need to take control, become a king, crown yourself a king. Right, and get treated like one, right? That you will have the best life. I mean, Joffrey was a evil psychopath, and yet people still bowed down to him because he was sitting on the throne. He had the seat of power, right? He never took the throne. It was his father, Robert Baratheon, and the throne passed down to his son Joffrey, and people just was like, all right, well, now he's a king. He done nothing to earn it. It was just nepotism. It is because it is a royal lineage that his father built, but overthrowing the old mad king, Aerys Targaryen. And you may look at it and be like, that is a fictional character, that is a TV show, but that is, in reality, that is how the world works. Okay, the Queen Elizabeth died here in the UK, and Prince Charles became king. Right? What did Prince Charles do? He was just born and had the right surname. He had the right circumstances around him, which is why he got crowned king. What I am telling you is the world is not fair. The world is not what it seems. Here on Royal Instinct, we are taking control. We are taking back power. We are developing our own new lineages, our own new royal lines that we are building. And that is what I want for you, right? Like, I don't care who watches. I don't care who it is that comes and joins me. I'm more interested with the people who understand, because the people who join me, they they understand what it is I'm trying to do. They understand the values that I have, the beliefs that I have, and like the type of people who are ambitious, the type of people who are also want to live the types of life that I want to live, a life of luxury, people who want to be crowned kings, to build a kingdom, right? Like, they're the best people to be friends with, right? Like, they're the people that I want to be friends with. They're the people that I want to meet. If that is you, reach out to me. Let me know where you are in the world. Let's work together. Let's build something new. Let's overthrow the current system, right? Let's bring our creative brains and develop new creative ways of living.
She doesn't initiate this meeting. She's responding to a royal command. But notice her tone. There's no fear, no anxiety, just a polite acknowledgement. She's already demonstrating control over her emotional state.
I'm leaving on a hunting trip. I just wanted to make sure you had everything you need before I left.
This is Joffrey trying to play the gracious king. I'm thinking,
and that is how you should be. People should see you as a gracious king. People should see you as a gracious person. People, all his job is to do is like, oh, make sure, hey, is everything all right in your life? Okay, great. And nobody's going to say, yeah, I've got all these problems, right? Because he's a king. They're too scared. Okay, but don't be an evil bastard like Joffrey. Be a benevolent king. Be a philosopher king. That is what we are here to do. We are here to uncover your expertise, the life purpose that you have within yourself, the things that you are most passionate about, and turn that into your mission in life, your life purpose, and around your life purpose, we will make you a subject matter expert, build a kingdom around your authority, your knowledge, because that is how people will see you, a point of authority. And once you have that power, people will fall into line. People will naturally, you know, defer to you. And once they are deferring to you, it is very easy to turn that into a kingdom for them to become your subjects in the world.
Of your comfort. But here's what's really happening. He's establishing that he controls her circumstances. He decides if she has what she needs. This is a dominance display disguised as courtesy.
That's very thoughtful, Your Grace. I have everything I could want.
Perfect response. She accepts his frame. Yes, you're thoughtful, but immediately neutralizes his power move. I have everything I could want means I'm already satisfied. You don't need to provide for me because I'm complete.
And here at Raw Instinct, we don't need anyone to provide for us, okay? We have, what we do is we remove all self-doubt and fear inside your head so that you are fully free to, shoot out your charisma onto the world, shoot out your knowledge, the things that you believe in, shoot it out into the world, and turn that into your advantage, turn that into your power, unleash your full personality. And people, once they see it, once you can speak with charisma, once you can speak with that type of power where you are fully confident, fully charismatic, people will bow down to you, people will acknowledge you as a king.
She's subtly refusing to be positioned as dependent.
Good. How are you finding life in the capital? Must be quite a change after Renly's camp.
Here comes the real agenda. Joffrey brings up Renly. This isn't small talk. This is an interrogation wrapped in pleasantries. He's testing her loyalty, her feelings, her potential threat level.
A welcome one. A military encampment is no place for a lady.
Watch what she does here. She doesn't defend Renly's camp. She doesn't get nostalgic. She immediately frames her previous life as inferior to her current situation. That was rough and inappropriate. This is where I belong. She's telling.
And you may have had problems in your life, you may have had traumas in your life, you may have had setbacks in your life, okay? But those things are in the past. You do not belong in that type of life, in that type of mindset. You deserve everything. You deserve a life of luxury, because that is what we build it here at Royal Instinct, okay? Unleash your kingly instinct, unleash your royal blood onto the world, okay? Allow the people to treat you as you deserve to be treated, which is as a king, and people will naturally fall into place. And you will live a life of luxury, because if you have the balls to take what is really yours, nobody can stop you. And if they try, then you have me and the other fellow kings here at Royal Instinct, the other royal alliance that we are building here, who will stand by you shoulder to shoulder.
Joffrey exactly what he wants to hear. I'm glad to be here with you in civilization.
And the bedside of a traitor, is that a place for a lady?
The mask drops. Traitor. He's not being polite anymore.
And right now in that scene, Margaery is getting threatened, okay? And you may say that she's just a woman, and plus he is a man with an actual weapon in his hand at that moment, right? So the power balance, and nobody else is in the room, and if he does decide to kill her, not much will happen, because he is the king, right? So it is a frightening scenario for Margaery to find herself in. But you can see how she turns that crisis in her life in that moment into an advantage, okay? Because it's an opportunity for her to prove herself to him, to win him over, in order for her to position herself and to gain more favor, and then in the end more power over Joffrey, over the current king. And you have to be somebody else who, if you want power, if you want to live a good life, if you want to be a king, you have to take that risk sometimes. You have to go into an environment where you may feel uncomfortable, where you don't know what's going to happen, and just see what the fuck goes down, right? And then as the punches are coming towards you, as the problems are unfolding in front of you, you need to have enough belief, enough confidence, enough, enough belief in yourself to navigate it, okay, and not just navigate it, to turn the tables in and turn it into an opportunity where you are thriving, where it is an advantage for you. And that is how we operate here at Royal Instinct. Okay, we turn everything into an advantage for us. Every disadvantage we have, anything that hurt us in the past, is only a scar. It is only a moment, momentarily blip that we experience. And once we thus pick ourselves back up, we move forward. We go into the darkness, we go into places where we are unsure, and we overcome it because we have that royal power.
He's accusing her of being complicit with treason. He's watching for her reaction. Will she defend Renly, get emotional, show divided loyalty? This is a test, a dangerous one.
Your Grace, I tried to do my duty as a wife, that is all.
Genius response. She doesn't defend Renly. She doesn't attack him either. She reframes the entire relationship.
Basically, she is just stating facts. She done her duty as a woman, as a wife, because that is what her house, her family expected of her. So she is pushing all the blame onto external circumstances, onto external events, not taking responsibility for it, which is why she's able to navigate this scenario.
As duty. I was performing my role, nothing more. She's positioning herself as someone who fulfills obligations without personal attachment. That makes her safe, predictable, controllable, or so Joffrey thinks.
What was your duty to this traitor as you saw it?
He's pushing. He wants her to say something he can use against her. He's building a case in his mind about whether she's trustworthy.
And that is also what the elites are doing. They are pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, hoping that you'll break so that they can then put harsher laws onto you, harsher punishments onto you. They want you to, for example, go to X, go on Twitter, and start complaining. And then what will the government do? They will put out a Freedom of Speech Act where they can censor your freedom of speech, because what you might say can be classified by the governments, by the elites, as hate speech, as terrorist speech, and that is how they wield power over you.
The duty of any wife to any husband, to provide him with children.
She reduces her entire marriage to biological function. No love, no loyalty, no politics, just duty. And notice, she's talking about duty to any husband, not specifically Renly. She's already mentally divorcing herself from him.
You failed to do this. Why?
This is aggressive. He's accusing her of failure. He's trying to make her feel inadequate, defensive, ashamed.
And that is what society does to you as well. Society will try to make you feel inadequate, to be ashamed of who you are, which is why you may be depressed, which is why you may be somebody who has social anxiety, some type of anxiety, mental health issues. A lot of the reasons for it is because society will tell you, that you are powerless, and when you are powerless, that you are not good enough. Okay, and then what you will do is, instead of lashing out, because if you do lash out, then you will probably be put into a jail. You will turn that anger that you have at that moment and blame yourself. Okay, and when you start blaming yourself, you are attacking yourself, right? And you are depressing your soul. Okay, you are pushing your soul down because you are not growing your soul in that moment. You are not celebrating your soul. You are hating your soul in that moment, which is what depresses it down. And you're depressing, pushing it inside, making yourself small, making your soul small, making your power small. And once you do that, you end a person who is lifeless. You end up as a person who is not alive, not feeling alive. You may be feeling low on energy. You may not feel anything at all. Okay, and the reason why you're not feeling anything is because you're not expressing yourself, which is the opposite of the opposite of depression. Okay, you're not depressing yourself, right? The opposite of it is expressing. Okay, and that is what we do here at Raw Instinct. We express our life purpose. We express our knowledge that we have built. We turn our expertise into subject matter experts, We are seen as subject matter experts, and once we establish ourselves as that, we are seen as points of authority, and that is why we get to crown ourselves as kings.
I would not speak ill of the dead, Your Grace.
That hesitation, that stammer, I would not. This is the first time Margaery appears uncertain, and it's completely calculated. She's baiting him. She's implying there's something negative to say about Renly, but she's too proper, too respectful to say it.
And people love negativity. People love gossip, okay? People want it, they need it. It is built into our human psyches, because gossip is information that you don't have, that other people are privy to. And that gossip, when we were back in the days of hunter-gatherer times, could have been life or death, okay? Knowing something that other people know. They might have a secret place where they have food stashed, where they have they found like a secret berry tree, okay? And if you got hold of that gossip from somebody else, then you can then get that food, which is the difference between living and surviving, okay?
She's making Joffrey want to hear it.
You think one ought to speak kindly of a traitor merely because he's had a sword put through his heart?
Joffrey takes the bait. He's giving her permission. No, he's commanding her to insult Renly. He's authorizing her disloyalty to her dead husband. And Margaery just got exactly what she wanted. Explicit permission to trash Renly without appearing disloyal or cruel on her own initiative.
No. I do beg your pardon. The subtleties of politics are often lost on me. Renly, I don't believe he was interested in the company of women.
Oh, this is masterful. Let's unpack this. I do beg your pardon. She's being submissive
And that is how people should be addressing you at all times, okay? Crown yourself a king and be treated like one, okay? Which is what we are all about here at Royal Instinct. We are building nations, we are building kingdoms, and we will be treated like kings.
apologetic. The subtleties of politics are often lost on me. She's playing dumb, non-threatening, just a simple girl. I don't believe he was interested in the company of women. She's revealing Renly's homosexuality. She's giving Joffrey intelligence, valuable, humiliating intelligence about his enemy. She's making herself useful while appearing naive.
What makes you say this?
He's hooked. He wants details. He wants confirmation.
He wants the gossip that she's providing, okay? There was rumors about Renly being a homosexual in the court before, and now he's getting confirmation through the person that he was supposed to be most intimate with, his ex-wife, and he is loving it, okay? He gets a moment to shit on his rival, his uncle, who tried to steal the throne away from him. And this is a moment that he finds super, super excited, which is why gossip is important, which is why gossip is sometimes classified as life and death, because that is how people view it inside their minds.
Whenever I wanted to make a child with him, he had so many excuses, so many late-night war councils. He never wanted to try.
She's painting herself as the eager, dutiful wife. I wanted to make children. I tried. He rejected me. She's establishing that the failure wasn't hers, it was his. And she's making Renly look weak. A man who refused a beautiful woman's bed? That makes no sense to someone like Joffrey.
Except one evening, after he'd had far too much wine to drink, he suggested something that sounded very painful and couldn't possibly result in children.
Stop. Just stop and appreciate.
I just love his face there. He looks like absolutely disgusted, Joffrey. But yeah, like, Margaery Tyrell is very clever, okay? She is playing the Game of Thrones. She is becoming queen, okay? And you have to understand what about women is most women see themselves as queens. They want to become queens. They see themselves as special, okay? And right now in the world, there is a dating crisis. Many men feel like that they aren't able to find a partner. They're not able to date. Dating has become too expensive. The demands placed on men are too extensive, and most men can't cope. Most men are um you know, then turning away from dating. They are blaming themselves. They're blaming the society around them. They are turning towards the red pill. They are becoming incels. They are turning towards the black pill, which is what we're about to go into next. The Looksmaxxing Nihilism. But one of the big reasons is, and how you can get out of a situation like that, how you can turn this into advantages, by knowing that if women want to be queens, right, then the only people that they will submit to, the only people that they want to be with, the only people that they want to marry is a king. All right. So once you know that, what is the right thing to do? The only natural thing left for you to do is to crown yourself a king. Okay. And you have to remember, right? I mean, going back to Game of Thrones, how did Robert Baratheon become king? He didn't even set out to be king. He just wanted to destroy Rhaegar Targaryen. He wanted to bring him to justice. He wanted to chop his head off because he kidnapped and raped Lyanna Stark. And then he started the war to bring down House Targaryen. Okay. And that is what you must do. You must be dissatisfied with your life. You must be annoyed, angry at the fact that the injustices in the world that are being carried out. Okay. And once you have enough rage, once you have enough anger, you need to wield war. Now, I'm not telling you to go jump on a horse and go kill anybody. What I'm telling you to do is to spread your message, to spread your truth that you feel is right, the right way to live life, the right way um to conduct yourself in this life, in this world. Okay, spread your truth. Allow the people of the world to understand who you are, what you are about. And naturally, once you have the courage to do that and bring down the enemies, the people, the false people spreading false information, that is the equivalent of slaying an enemy, right? Attacking the people who are against your philosophy, the way that you see life. We need to bring them to justice. We need to bring them down. We need to change the world. Okay. And once you do that, once you defeat your enemies, it is only natural that you get to be king, that you get to crown yourself a king, and you will get to establish a kingdom, your own nation. And in our alliance of kings, there will be 100 kingdoms. Okay, we will be the alliance of 100 kingdoms, and there will be 100 kings from all ready to fight, all ready to share creative ideas, all ready to party. Okay, because partying and living a life of luxury is a big part of what we do here. We get the best food, we get the best women, we get the best things in life. Let's jump into the Looksmaxxing Nihilism.
Emerged, which allowed doctors to understand an individual's emotional and intellectual faculties via the advanced technique of feeling around for bumps on their head. It was called phrenology. Now, when the British were still busy colonizing India, they sent some skulls back to Edinburgh, as one does, with descriptions based on this thrilling new science. Now, some were marked as thugs. These were people whose skull shape made them predisposed to criminality, something inherent to their genetic lineage. One scientist said that this thuggish tendency was common to nationality and religion. The Scottish surgeon George Murray Patterson posited that if someone from a less sophisticated skull shape were to convert to Christianity, well, then it could actually change their skull and make them more Caucasian. So in a sense, you believe the right thing, your skull changes shapes, and now you're going to be a more spiritually aligned and successful person. Now,
And that is what the Looksmaxxers believe. They believe that if you change your face, if you make yourself pretty enough, then people will change their behavior towards you. Now, look, man, like beautiful people, beautiful women, they have that halo effect. They are treated differently, but the people who get treated the best are kings. Okay, and being a king, you don't have to be a pretty boy, you don't have to be an attractive man to become a king, right? King is taken to become a king, right, is you have to be somebody who takes that power. Okay, and you need strength, And I'm not talking about physical strength, because that's why we have armies. We need mental strength. We need that divine knowledge that we share here at Royal Instinct. Okay. And the best way to tap into your divine knowledge that every man has within himself, okay, is by removing the self-doubts, the false information inside your head, the negative thoughts, okay, the um things that are holding you back in life. Okay, once we remove that information, those seeds of doubt inside your head, you are free to unleash your royal instinct upon the world. And that is what I'm doing here. I'm here to help you achieve that, tap into your kingly divine rights, your royal blood within yourself, and crown yourself a king, right? Because you deserve it. You put in the hard work. You put your balls on the line. You went forward and allowed your new strength to be unleashed onto the world. Okay, you'll attract many haters, but we are ready to fight them. And for every hater that you slay, there will be a new person that is waiting to love you and adore you. Okay, let's jump into back to the video.
Exist here in 2026. We know that this was all pseudoscientific garbage. We also know the only decent thing to ever be associated with phrenology was a pretty good Roots album. But shockingly enough, here in 2026, you can now pay money to take a course designed and taught by a 20-year-old who got kicked out of college, where he's going to give you access to biochemical diagrams about ideal face shape. He'll give you advice, especially advice to ethnics who got the short end of the phoenix.
And the people who believe in Looksmaxxing, right, they are already feeling pretty nihilistic about life. They feel that life is doomed, that they have no power within themselves to wield over and gain favor and build something in this life. And therefore, they're like, they are ready to be manipulated to learn this new information that this clavicular guy is bring forward, okay? And they believe that if they follow his advice, if they change their shape of the face, the shape of how they look, that they will be a new person, and then that they will be able to change their circumstances in life. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to change the shape of your face, right? Except however you look. If you want to do a little bit of nip tuck in your face, go for it, right? Nobody can tell you how to live your life as a king. But the choice is yours, right? But what I suggest is you need to tap into your life purpose, because that is the only way that you can feel alive. That is the only way that you can feel that you are doing the right thing in your life, in this world. Okay, you need to bring about new information that only you can understand, that only you can see, because you are in your life purpose. It is what you are destined to do. It is what you are meant to do in this world. Okay, and when you do that, all things fall into place. Okay, people will start treating you better because they see your royal potential.
Type stick, and he's going to give you the instructions on how to follow his godly coloring routine. So if you make your face and head more godly, things will get better for you. Hey, race science is back, baby. A bunch of streamers with fake names are hitting themselves in the head with hammers and rebooting phrenology in a way that allows vulnerable young men to scientifically determine if they are normies or chads, subhumans. I think Giga Chad's also one. I'm not gonna accurately learn the system because I'm 41 goddamn years old. What do you want me to do here? And this has all led to the emergence of a new form of nihilism, one that's incredibly, almost depressingly boring, in lack of any overarching political, philosophical.
And that's one big thing about Clavicular that I've noticed. He is a very boring individual. He has no personality because he is solely relying on his looks. He wants to just be a picture. He doesn't want to be a movie. Okay, here at Raw Instinct, we are all about action. We are all about motion. We are all about controlling perception. We are all about going out there, taking what's ours. We are ready to fight. We are ready to do battle. Okay. And I'm telling you, that you don't have to do this alone. Reach out to me. Let me help you. Let's join forces. Let's join armies. Let's take over the game and be the new de facto rulers of the earth.
Or religious ideals. These young men are seeking self-actualization, what they refer to as ascension, with facial and body modification, and the accompanying financial success that these are guaranteed.
Yeah, we don't change the shape of our face. We change our mindset. We change how we view the world, and the world revolves around you. The world revolves around me because I'm the king, and the world should revolve around you because you see yourself as a king too. And therefore, me and you are probably the only people that understand each other, that because we have that power, because we have the gift, because we are the rightful rulers of the earth. Okay, people and life has tried to push us down. They try to depress our emotions, but we are now fully expressing ourselves. We are within a life purpose. Okay, it is where we're meant to be. It is how we will win.
Need to entail. Okay, so obviously I'm going to talk about the guy, but I'm not going to be referring to him by his stream handle. Instead, I'm going to respectfully use his government name, Braden Peters. Now, this is because I have a rule that I
Is he the son of Jordan Peterson? We will never know.
only call someone by a rap name if they're actually good at rapping. And this young man is not.
Bitch gon' act with malice. You don't look like when I ETList.
And just to be fair, I think the same logic works.
I mean, the thing with clavicular is like, he's been taking testosterone, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy since he was like 14. And he even says that he can't get an erection naturally, that he needs Cialis, he needs Viagra. His penis and balls. I mean, when you take testosterone replacement therapy, artificial testosterone, your balls shrink. Okay, so he has the balls of a 8-year-old. He has the penis of a 5-year-old, and he can't get an erection without taking Viagra or Cialis. Okay, it is. So what's the fuck? What the fuck is the point of looking so good if you can't even fuck? Do you get what I mean? That's the issue with all these black pillars. That's the issue with all the these Looksmaxxers is, they're not fucking. Okay, it's all about fucking. Okay, that is what life revolves around. That is what power is. Okay, it's all about sex. You need to get your dick wet now.
The other way, that rappers shouldn't use government names. For more on this, Google Kanye West and Talib Kweli. But these new phrenologists are called Looksmaxxers. John Paul Brammer defines them as an individual who dedicated their life to the pursuit of a single extreme. In Clavicular's case, it's physical attractiveness. He's quite handsome in a boy bandish, good-looking guy at the mall sort of way. But honestly, the way these guys look and dress, it reminds me of what cool guys looked like when I was a teenager in the early 2000s. Like a guy who wore like Abercrombie shirts and maybe like a hemp necklace and had the middle part.
Yeah, I mean, the way Clavicular looks, like if he didn't take all these steroids, if he just ate healthy, if he just worked out in the gym, he probably would have ended up looking the same anyway, right? Like, because that is what puberty does for you. He missed out on all the natural growth that he could have had, and he is ending up now with a whole host of problems in the future. And the stupid thing is, right, like Looksmaxxing doesn't work. Okay, however, Clavicular got famous because he is the person heading the Looksmaxxing movement, right? And then he's getting a lot of attention, right? And he is now building a kingdom around Looksmaxxing. So it isn't the fact that he's good looking that he's able to do it. It's the fact that he is creating this movement, this philosophy, this religion of Looksmaxxing, which is now, he is the equivalent of a Jesus, right? Right. And or he is the equivalent of a Napoleon, creating this whole movement around looking good, selling this idea to people, and people are believing in him, people are watching him, people are enjoying his streams, basically just to see what this crazy guy on meth is about to do. Okay, so we understand how it works, okay, which is why we tap into your expertise and make you a subject matter expert. Okay, and once you establish yourself a subject matter expert, because like it or not, right, if you like the guy or hate the guy, Clavicular is a Looksmaxxer subject matter expert, right? If you want to find out about Looksmaxxing, you're going to talk to Clavicular about it, right? That is his life purpose. That is his field of knowledge, his expertise, and he is rightfully now using that to build a kingdom around it. Okay, however, most likely I predict that it will be a failing kingdom. But however, it is still a kingdom. Okay, it is a kingdom ready for us to take over. Okay, we will destroy the Looksmaxxers, we will destroy Clavicular. It is our destiny that we become the de facto rulers of the earth. All the money will be coming to us because we have the strength, we have the power to overtake him. Okay, what's Clavicular going to do? Is he's just going to look at me and be like, hey, I'm really good looking, and I'm going to be like, you know, coming at him with all my power, with all my force, with all the other royal kings that I have here, unleashing our army onto him. You know, I mean, even if he has an army of Looksmaxxers, right? So that he's just got an army of really good-looking people, you know, like a bunch of twinks, a bunch of femboys ready to bend over, take it up the arse. They will not fight because they're too scared to be hit in the face in case it damages or bruises their skin. I mean, Clivickler wears eyeliner, he wears foundation to make himself more attractive. He is more of a woman than a man, and if you are a woman, you can be queen, but you can never be a king.
With the hair like that, kind of preppy, kind of athletic. Like there was a whole type of guy, and there was a lot of them. There was a lot of them. They weren't unique. They weren't unique, and now all the guys want to be that guy. Okay, so I'm pretty excited because one of my favorite throughs, check out new the Nihilism hour screen time is at a period of his development that should have been spent skipping basketball practice in order to flirt with girls in gas station parking lots. Now, all of his hard work wasn't aimed at, to be clinical, getting ass. It was aimed at increasing the metric of his own sexual market value, or SMV. He said in recent interviews that sex is actually sort of meh and can get in the way.
How do we here at Raw Instinct develop our SMV, our sexual market value? It is by becoming kings. And once you are a king, you own the whole market. You are the king of the market. You are the top of the pyramid. You are the apex, okay? And therefore, all the women will be attracted to you because you are the true king.
Way of the more serious work of streaming. Now, for Peters and the lads, the point of increasing the sexual value is about achieving success and power. As their research clearly shows, only absolute chads ascend to the highest positions of society. And this means that rather than making oneself more attractive for the sake of a more robust...
We are not chads, we are kings, okay? There is a difference. Chads are just, you know, male models, people to look at, okay, while we are the rulers, we are the owners of resources, we are the wealthiest people, we have the most power.
Social and sexual existence, one carried out away from any dual monitor setups. The goal of Peters and his crew is, in the words of Brammer, to flatten his world into the 2D screen and to physically transmute his flesh into internet. I mean, that's why a lot of these dudes whose weird streamer names I'm not gonna say, but whose weird faces will show in the video, they're attractive, but in a weird way. You know, it's like they spent so much time looking at a version of their face in TikTok filters that they then turned themselves into the digitally edited version of themselves. You know, they've turned themselves into what attention...
And the reasons they're doing that is because the internet is the biggest globe, the biggest nation in the world, the new universe here on Earth. Okay, you may live in a country, you may live in your town or city, you may live wherever you are living right now, but most of your time is spent on the internet. Your interactions with the internet, whether it is via your phone, via your laptop, via apps such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you know, all the Twitter, all the fucking apps, all the social media apps. You know, even now, right now, you're watching this YouTube video. We are connected through the internet. Okay, we are connected. We are. You are watching me in the universe of the internet, in the country of the internet, which is the newest nation, the biggest nation. This is the future of the world. This is how we will all be connecting. And it is a first mover advantage that you get if you build a kingdom, if you are seen as a king, if you establish that type of authority, that type of power. It is only natural that you will win in this new universe of the internet, and once we are winning, we can dominate and take over the earth.
Seeking apps told them that other individuals wanted to look at. In an essay about Looksmaxxing, Magdalene J. Taylor writes that when the criteria for aesthetic specialness is dictated by the screen, not the big one, but the perpetual presence of several small ones, the looks themselves are going to warp. They might be beautiful still, but something will feel off, uncanny. The signs of rot underneath will glimmer beneath the skin. And in a way, this obsession with the body is kind of a cover-up for the hatred of the physical body. Now, Brammer writes that Clavicular, though he claims to know the precise measurements of several of his bones and his height and his weight down to the decimals, has nothing but contempt for the human body, its wild urges and genetic stubbornness. If you didn't know, this is a guy that started shooting himself up with testosterone at such a young age that it's now destroyed his body's ability to produce testosterone. So like he's like 20 years old and his dick don't work good.
And there you have it. Okay, what is the point of it all then? It is, if he will say it's to mock other men, it is to win. But what's the point? Okay, if you can't enjoy sex, if you can't enjoy women, what is the point of doing all that, right? So you can just be famous for the sake of being famous. That is not what we do here at Raw Instinct. We change lives, we transform nations, we change and transform the lives of people, of our citizens. I mean, there's a great war to come. Okay, the evil people at the World Economic Forum, or the elites, the evil people who are ruling the earth, the technocrats, the tech CEOs, the billionaire class who want to destroy most of humanity, and pray to the AI gods that they are trying to resurrect. They have disdain for you. They hate you. They want you to fail. And when they try to destroy most of humanity, we will be there to capture those people, to usher those people to safety, because we are the real kings. We are the real rulers of the earth, because we have that type of power, because we see the future, where it's headed, and we are building a new and better world, so that humanity can evolve and we can usher in a new evolution for Earth.
I think he has to like take pills or shoot himself with testosterone just to do sex. It's weird. My old man brain is broken by this stuff. Now there's also a critique, and I'm gonna try to be careful with how I phrase this. But there's a critique that the whole project of Looksmaxxing is just very gay. Now I don't mean that in a pejorative sense, but in a literal one, in which men are seeking to transform themselves into the type of men deemed beautiful for the sake of being desired by the gaze of other men. They want to look.
And is that what is really going on? Is Clavicular just a closet homosexual? It appears so. Okay, he doesn't want his dick to work. He doesn't want his dick to get hard. He just wants to look all pretty and then get pounded inside his asshole. Right? That is the way it looks. Okay, he in essence is Renly Baratheon. We have now come full circle. Okay, and as Joffrey, you might be wondering, why didn't Margaery, why did your husband not fuck you? And she's like, well, Clavicular has been shooting himself up with testosterone since the age of 14 to make himself more pretty. And instead of taking it out on me, instead of putting his penis inside my pussy, he wanted me to stick a fist up his ass, right? When Margaery early in the episode said, oh yeah, he wanted something unnatural, that that basically he asked Margaery to peg him, right? That is what these Looksmaxxers are doing.
She doesn't say what Renly suggested. She leaves it to Joffrey's imagination.
And Joffrey's imagining Clavicular getting pegged by Margaery Tyrell.
Painful that couldn't possibly result in children. She's implying anal sex without saying it.
And there you have it, guys. That is what Clavicular wants. He wants anal sex. That is how he wants to rule his kingdom. We are against it. I mean, look, if you're gay, you do your thing, man. I'm not against homosexuals. However, these Looksmaxxers, just come out and say it, right? That you want to be pegged by Margaery Tyrell.
She's making Joffrey visualize it, making him fill in the blanks. And by leaving it vague, she's making it seem even more depraved and strange than it might actually be. Plus, he'd had far too much wine to drink, suggests Renly would never have tried this sober. It was aberrant behavior, not his.
And, another thing about Clavicular is that he is all the time taking meth, sniffing it, injecting it inside himself, smoking it, because he can't handle the life he lives, okay? He is so bought into it, but his soul knows that is not the right way to live, which is why he numbs it with methamphetamines, with drugs, so that he can go forward and keep Looksmaxxing.
His true nature, except of course, it was his true nature, and Margaery knows it.
Maybe the fault was with me.
No, she doesn't believe.
And for any women who are watching it, the fault is not with you. It is because these Looksmaxxers cannot get an erection because their testicles have shrunken so small that they are basically children in the bedroom. Okay, they have no ability to get an erection, to ejaculate, because their penis is so small, which happens if you basically inject yourself with testosterone. Your penis shrinks, and your testicles shrink, which is why they want to be pegged like Renly Baratheon. Let's jump back into this video.
guys so that other hot guys think they're hot. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But as Brammer points out in his Playboy essay, and I'll link all this stuff below, inasmuch as caring about your appearance is kind of gay, so too is clavicular kind of gay. But it's homosocial.
Maybe we shouldn't call him clavicular anymore. We should call him testicular, okay? Because he is a small testicle boy.
Social intensity without the prospect of fucking. It's the aesthetic of the possibility of fucking, the image of its potential. Whew. And yet the product being sold here is still one that promises young men a type of fuckability that will be unlocked if they just follow the right steps. And as I mentioned before, Peters has an online academy in which he will give advice to this effect if you pay him money. This is how he instructs young men to approach dancing with a woman at the club. This is gross. I'm just gonna quote what he says. This was in a Rolling Stone article. I did not pay money to learn this. Quote, "No resistance, inch closer until your erection is her problem." This fucking guy. Next he says, "Guide her hand to your dick. If she strokes, bathroom or Uber." Is the implication there that young men are dancing with women and if they touch their penis, they go, do people have sex in Ubers? Does stuff happen in Ubers? Am I just, oh my God. And while
I mean, you can tell by that sentence that Clivic has no idea what he's talking about, because first of all, he can't get an erection, right? So where's he getting this experience from? Okay, is he just ripping off other people's information that they're selling online? It is wild to know where this guy's brain is to what he is imagining. Is it all a scam? It appears so.
Peters only spent a short time at college himself. He encourages his paid students to look at universities as hunting grounds with, again, his words, not mine, dozens of slayables in a 5-minute radius, 0 real-world consequences. That sounds like you're telling young men to commit assault. That's what it sounds like, but what would I know? He also encourages young men to join campus organizations, which is good, right? He offers advice like, join a feminist club to subtly dominate intellectually.
I mean, so you have this this Looksmaxxing guy telling guys to join feminist organizations in order to harass them, in order to assault them. I mean, this is absolute despicable behavior. It is disgusting. We do not allow that to happen in our kingdoms. Looksmaxxing will be outlawed. You know, because and you know, if they want to rebrand themselves as and come out as trans, you know, good for you. You know, you get to live that life, but whatever. But yeah, man, like it is crazy that what these people are doing, what this guy is teaching, and this is a new leader of this generation of lonely men. If only they discovered what we are doing here at Raw Instinct. We are crying ourselves kings. We are diving deep into our passion, into our reason for being here on Earth, into our subject matter expertise, and that is how we stay winning. That is how we become the de facto rulers.
Your presence should be unsettling in a good way. The finish line is simple, getting the woman back to your dorm. Peters writes that the second she crosses the door frame, her internal monologue has already rationalized the implication.
What implication? The implication that things might go wrong for her if she refuses to sleep with me. Now, not that things are gonna go wrong for her, but she's thinking that they will.
This is a really dark worldview. It's one largely shaped by collective internet brain rot, in which the old world is dying and only the brave men with high PSL scores are going to secure a place in the world to come. You know, give yourself to the internet and the
Yeah, and that is how people are behaving online. That is how people are seeing themselves, which is why we here at Raw Instinct, we are establishing kingdoms, we are establishing nations so that we are protected away from this brain rot, that we get to live the best lives possible. That is what we are doing here. It is our destiny.
Internet will give you the world, except your penis will be broken because of all the testosterone that you started shooting to it as a young man. Now, Brammer writes that, in this sense, there's not much distance between clavicular and the porn-maxing gooners, the men who have boldly submitted themselves to worship of the fleshless internet image, husks gone limp in the stream. It's a paradox of hyper-online masculinity in 2026. It's a radically submissive moment, or perhaps that's how it's always been. Masculinity has always had a liege. Again, good essay, read it for yourself. And this gets us all into the deeply boring nihilism of it all. Now, in his Atlantic essay on this topic, Charlie Warzel writes, referencing the work of Aidan Walker here, that when Clavicular records himself breaking his body, spouting the N-word, and reveling in anti-Semitism, he's participating in what Walker dubs nihilism by default, an ideology where the only sources of purpose or profit are the self and the social media machine. Now, because we're
Yeah, and Clavicular isn't. He is the he is a symptom of the internet and what is wrong with society. Most people have lost faith. Most people have lost hope. They don't believe that anything good will happen to them, that there's no way out. The only thing that they can do is to be so good looking that people, kind of like how in Zoolander, people saw Ben Stiller's character and just were like, oh my God, look how good looking he is. That people are just, captivated by your attractiveness, and for that reason that they will pay you, that you'll make some sort of money out of that. And then once you have that money and power, that you can become somebody. We change that. Okay, we don't care about bending over to the world. What we do here is we delve deep and dive deep into our things that we are passionate about, things that are within our life purpose. We turn that into our powers, our expertise. We become subject matter experts, and once we're seen as subject matter experts, we have that authority, which is how we become kings. And once you are a king, and once you establish a kingdom, it is only natural that the world will start treating you better, that the people will worship you. And that is how we gain power. That is how we stay winning. That is how we are taking charge of our destiny. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm doing, then you need to reach out to me. We need to work together. We need to clear out your negative thoughts. We need to turn you into a king. And so that when the great wars to come, when the great wars begin, that me and you can stand shoulder to shoulder alongside the other 100 kings that we have here, and that we can defeat evil. Okay, but thank you very much, everybody. That is it for today, and I will see you tomorrow.